I am so excited.
We are doing something completely different tonight. Hello, lords, ladies, and all kind noble friends. Welcome to the Vixens and Dragons.
This is the greatest thing.
We are extremely excited. I believe I can speak. Is that a tiny axe?
It is a tiny axe. I'm prepared. It's with my character sheet. It's a tiny
cute.
axe. I'm prepared.
That's darling.
I love that it's about the size of a mini or potentially larger, just thinking in scale. Delightful. I love. And I love Dungeons and Dragons, so I'm really excited.
I have kind of the opposite scaling to Brizo because I have a very big D20 that actually will not be rolled tonight because what this actually is a very interesting bath bomb that I'll be using another time this week to relax. But this is from a lovely Etsy seller. But I just wanted to show it since we're showing big and little things.
No, darling, we should talk. We should talk. I would love one of those. That sounds right up my alley.
Geek Domain on Etsy. Fair priced, and there's an entire set of dice in this bath bomb. I'll be using other dice.
Do you have any idea what they look like?
No idea. I'm hoping it's in line with the color to an extent.
I was going to say, what are the chances she could make a gold bath bomb D20 filled with blue dice? Because that would be amazing.
That would be amazing. Also, I would really like this to be a behind-the-scenes video as you place it into your bath.
Yes, but
that is very good content.
POV version.
Yes.
Also, PG-13.
Yes.
Yes. A leg dipping into the tub.
So,
speaking of dipping in,
beautiful transition, excellent segue. You know how I love a good, clean, awkward segue. So, as we've stated, we are going to be playing Dungeons and Dragons tonight. I do want us to get sort of right into it pretty quickly because for those of you who are familiar with the game, you might know that our normal streams on the channel here run approximately an hour or so, more likely to be a few minutes over than less, but sometimes we also are like, ooh, we still have 15 minutes. We should just fill, I guess. I'm not worried about that tonight because Dungeons and Dragons tends to take a while, which for me personally, I would play for hours and hours and hours, but we do acknowledge the time of night, especially for most of us on the East Coast here. Viewers, if you're on the West Coast and you're like, I'm fine, haven't even had dinner yet. Well, that's nice for you. But we're going to try to keep things moving along relatively quickly, but please do know that this is not going to be a single hour long stream. And I am an absolutely terrible judge of how long any given adventure will take as I write it. So I think this can be pretty quick, but you never know. Also, just a few housekeeping items before I dive into sort of what we're doing tonight specifically, is we have a few little homebrew things that are going on in our world, which I will speak more about our world momentarily. But for those who are die-hard rules lawyers and believe in the raw, certain classes are not given proficiency with weapons. And if you know the Vixens, that's kind of our bag. And so every single Vixen, regardless of her class, has and is proficient with a rapier. And you might be thinking, well, wait, if they're playing Dungeons and Dragons, they're not talking about themselves, but guess what? We are. We are playing extreme versions of ourselves. in this campaign. So we're very, very excited. As it's as though you took the real people here on screen before you and turned us up to 11 and dropped us into a fantastical setting. It is light fantasy. I will say that the appearance of dragons is not necessarily a given, but it is a world, and I did a tremendous amount of thinking about this, especially today, in terms of what I was going to say. It is a world where there is clear magic and supernatural occurrences abounding, and more perhaps than you might think. So in addition, there's one more homebrew rule around proficiency and things, which is that, again, not all classes are given proficiency with armor. But I just want to point this out right here. This is thick brocade and steel boning in a variety of places. And if you tried to stab me, which people have done, it's not getting through. So every single Vixen who is not proficient with or wearing traditional Dungeons and Dragons armor, like, for example, a studded leather, that would have given you a +2 to your AC. If you are simply wearing your bodice, you have a +1 to AC, because this is no joke. So, a little bit about our world and what exactly we are doing and how we are doing it for you this evening. For our entertainment tonight, we are going to be leaning on an aspect of Vixenry that is lesser known, or at least lesser discussed, and for very good reason, which I will talk about right now. Our audience tonight likely knows us best as the consummate performers that we are. Yes, luminaries of the theatrical realm, one might say. But perhaps you were not aware that this is, in fact, our side gig. The acting, that's our hustle that we have supplemented our work with, and our primary line of work is as Blades for Hire. We talk about this at the beginning of all of our shows, and you might be thinking, oh yes, I could hire them to perform at my festival or my wedding or a high production value performance venue with financial backing from patrons with deep pockets and a history of unproblematic behavior. Which you should do that. You should hire us to do those things. But before we began that line of work, when we first came together as a group, we discovered that due to our abilities, proclivities, and predilections, we were in fact ill-suited to the heteronormative roles of our time. So we did the only sensible thing we could think of that would allow us to drink, fight, and get laid.
Paid.
Get paid.
Paid.
Thank you.
Paid, yes.
We became mercenaries. And that's pulled right from the intro of our shows. We say this out loud every single time we perform. We say it loud and clear that we, the Vixens, are available for any armed services that you might need. But since one of the key attributes of a good mercenary is discretion, we don't talk about the specifics of that work very often, which is perhaps why we weren't getting very much of it and turned to theater for more stable income. We cannot discuss any of our previous contract work for reasons which should be obvious, like NDAs, respect for the dead, a number of high-level government officials from various countries who would then have to flee and seek asylum elsewhere. So, we shall be offering a glimpse into what Vixen Merc work might look like through the lens of fantasy. And because we are enormous fans of our dear friend and fantastic author, William Shakespeare, we are going to be dropping ourselves into the world of his works, of his plays. It is what I am calling the Shakespeare Cinematic Universe. All of his plays are real. They are happening all at the same time. I don't care what time period they've been set in the script. They are happening now. and we are there. So we may be playing in the world of, say, Pericles, but none of us will be playing Pericles. We will instead be playing versions of ourselves who show up to help clean up a shipwreck, maybe? I haven't given any thought to how we might do anything in the world of Pericles. So don't expect too much from that particular game, or just give me time. So that is where we are coming from a logistical standpoint. Anything that anyone wants to add or share or question about that before we begin?
That was just brilliant. I just want to save that and put it in my back pocket. I loved it.
Well, we're recording this session and it is available on video on demand for 1 week after this stream, and then on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/vixensonguard thereafter. So it's yours to memorize and perhaps do as a monologue at your next audition.
I would be honored.
Are we ready to begin?
So ready.
Excellent. In, of course, the cinematic version that we always begin in when we're thinking about the landscape of a session of Dungeons and Dragons, the camera, which totally exists in this our Renaissance England, pans over a gorgeous English countryside, not too far outside of London, and finds among the rolling hills and lush green forests a sprawling manor estate, which functions as the infamous Vixens HQ. What clearly began as a traditional manor house has, however, over the years been, shall we say, adapted to suit the needs of the fantastic swordswomen who live there within. So in addition to the gabled roofs and the bay windows that open out onto gorgeous courtyards and gardens, perfectly maintained, by the way, there are also features like an observatory, a domed observatory with just an enormous telescope sticking out of it, and clearly a crystal orrery that one can see spinning therein, and a dark-haired woman in beautiful bronze outfit poring over star maps and thinking very hard about what might be happening today or in the future. There is a deep pond that extends out in the back of the manor, but not in the way that one might expect, again, a traditional English countryside pond. For this pond ends in a stretch of sandy beach, not a traditional feature of England at all. And yet, there it is. How did it get there? Questions for a vixen not on screen here today. And looking off to the west side of the manor, there is simply a polymerized rubber track with full gymnastic equipment, pole vault, shot put, definitely fully contemporaneous to Renaissance England, absolutely belongs there, and a very blonde-haired woman without a single drop of sweat upon her, running along the track. Those are some of the vixens who occupy this incredible manor estate, but there are other vixens as well. We all reside here. And so we are going to introduce the folks that we have with us tonight for this adventure, because much like our performances, the series of VND will likely be modular in the sense that these are not the only players. Every single vixen has created the fantastical version of herself. And in future episodes, should they occur, you will likely meet other amplified vixens. But we have some wonderful people here with us today. And so, Brizo, if you would be so kind as to tell us where in the manor you might be found, or I suppose your character might be found.
Yes, so Brizo turned up to 11 is near the beach, but not on the beach. There is a small room designed to feel like the cabin of a great pirate ship, with a circular window as if it were a porthole. And that is sort of Brizo's quarters, where she is currently just lounging and staring out at the ocean. The ocean, how is it there? The beach, how is it there? She knows not. She's
that pond has waves, 100%.
Absolutely. And so she's just staring out of her little round window, sipping some whiskey, and I would say polishing her hand axe.
Brilliant.
Also, I should say visually, she looks much like myself, as you might suspect. She's just wearing a more robust version of what I might wear to a vixen performance. And so she's wearing a full pirate frock coat, her full pirate hat, so many different pieces of jewelry and weaponry that she's acquired in her time as a pirate. She's all in red, full out, turned up to 11. That's her.
Incredible. As Brizo lounges, looking out the porthole and taking in the oddly salty breeze,
It's just
we pan across the sprawling estate to find Hera. But where?
Oh, darling, Hera is in her rooms, which are a large suite of chambers.
Multiple. Excellent.
Of course. Absolutely. One must have one's boudoir as well as one's bedchamber, and then the dressing closet. You know, there's a lot of rooms that you must have. And every one of these has very clearly been taken from the Palace of Versailles. Not literally taken, although the last time that Hera was there, she might have nicked a couple of things. Don't tell anyone. But the decor looks exactly like that gorgeous blue chamber. You know what I'm talking about, in Versailles, with all of the gold and the white. And it's perfect. Hera herself is lounging, also similar to Brizo, but lounging on a cloth of gold divan, poring over her most recent love letters from, I can't remember the names, can't keep them straight, but she's poring over love letters while wearing this very luxurious blue robe. Her bodice, well, in this case, her breastplate, which is platinum backed and enameled in blue, hanging on a dress form over in the corner. And Hera herself is the most gorgeous, eye-catchingly beautiful creature you've ever seen. So she looks just like me.
Naturally. And in fact, as you are lounging upon the divan, your eyes fall upon a parcel. Parcel is perhaps too small for what has arrived. A large package wrapped in brown paper, but sprinkled with flecks of gold, and a note that I believe you're reading right now at the moment, that says, "Bonjour, ma love. Unfortunately, it seems that we have produced too many of these for the Hall of Mirrors. And so please take this gift from me unto you, because I wish to believe that when you look in the reflection of this mirror, I could look in it as well in the hall and be reflected with you upon all my sides. I want to only be surrounded by Hera at all times." Mwah, 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 which he has written out, but in weird French pronunciation. Le roi.
Perfect.
I did not.
Oh, what a darling!
It's a Louis.
Of course, they all are. What? That's marvelous. I look forward to fiercely unwrapping it and admiring myself in it.
It will. I'm sure you have a spot perfect on the wall, where it will go. That will reflect you from any angle in the room naturally.
If I don't have a spot now, I'll just build one.
Indeed, yes. Just
I said
surely someone can just add an extra wall here. As Hera contemplates where in her rooms the best place to hang this fabulous mirror is, we hear Hippolyta engaged in what type of activity?
Oh, well, I just finished axe throwing and sharking everyone, so no one wants to play with me right now. That's fine. But Hippolyta dialed up to 11. Looks very much like this, although I've got really cool scale mail that's all swirly autumnal, it's all fancy. Also, I am 7'2" because I'm a Goliath. Obviously. And once I've done throwing all of these axes, I think next what I'll probably do is I'll pick up some stuff on one side of the games room and put it on the other side, and then maybe rinse and repeat until my biceps are flexing in the breeze.
Flexing in the breeze?
I opened the window so I could get that salt sea air.
So it's not that the wind is wobbling the biceps along. It's just you're taking in the air and letting.
The wind does not move my biceps. My biceps move the wind.
Naturally. Fantastic. You are moving things from one side of the room to the other brilliantly, of course. When a delivery appears, there is a chute that opens, it's rather like a dumbwaiter, but with chutes that defy physics and simply go through all of the various different corners of the manor, where Persephone, our literal actual fairy, is at work in the kitchens and has sent a plate of nachos your way.
Oh, she's my girl.
There's 3 different kinds of protein.
Is there barbacoa?
Of course there's barbacoa. So as you are lifting just the entire rack of dumbbells with one hand and lifting chips to your mouth with the other, we shall pan away from this absolutely delightful mid-workout snack over to Selene, who is in the...
We now will pan to simply the coziest singular bedroom, not a plural here. Something similar, the best I can do is similar to Glimmer's bedroom in the fabulous show She-Ra, in Bright Moon, in the palace there, where it's just this celestial-looking bed, perfect for curling up for a big, long nap, and there's a big, mass in it, and the covers pull back and no one's actually there because Selene's not actually asleep right now. What she is actually doing is not in this bedroom. She is in the Vixens rehearsal space with my favorite part of this Selene turned up to 11, which is that I get an NPC retainer who I have named Squire Bob, and Selene is training Squire Bob in the rehearsal space vigorously. She is in a director's chair, enjoying a very tiny cup of coffee, giving Bob numerous props and costume pieces to put on, such as an oversized hat, a big pair of sunglasses, the occasional flower. He just has too much going on, but she really wants to work him and get him up to a higher standard. So she is really rehearsing that sweet Bob.
Yes, Mom. Should I hold the flower here or here?
Well, Bob, when we cue you thusly, then you hold the flower thusly, but not when we do not cue you thusly. I gave you the cue this way, so then the flower needs to go that way, and the sunglasses come off, and you put your hands together now.
Like this, Mom?
Yes, that will do, but I need a bigger scowl. I feel like I'm not being very persuasive. Should I try?
Should you like to persuade Bob? I don't know if he can do better, but you can certainly try. Roll persuasion.
Sure. It's the first roll. What do I even have to persuasion? Ooh, a +5. That's good. 23.
Bob understands every single one of your instructions, and you simply give him the look that he knows so well, and you give him the cue.
I stand and cheer. A singular tear rolls down my cheek. I say, Bob, you've done it. We're ready to try another role.
Thank you.
I think you're ready for the love interest next.
Are you sure I'm ready for it, Mum?
Well, Bob, I've lost all that conviction now.
Oh.
If you don't believe in yourself, I can't believe in you, quite frankly.
Shall I scowl again?
I would prefer that you do, Bob. Oh, Bob, I think you're ready. I think you're ready. It's quite good, but we need to change the eye for the love interest, because I don't know if it works for that one.
I don't know if I, Athena, can do the other eye.
Brilliant work. Just brilliant.
This is the high quality entertainment you all came to see. This right here.
Can she do it with the left eye?
I'm going to roll for Bob to see. I'm going to have it be a dexterity check to see how well he can manipulate the muscles of his face. Well, he rolled an 8.
Ooh.
There's a +0. So Bob, much like me, really only has control over one side of his face in that particular way. It's the same thing with the Elvis scowl. I can only do it on this side. I can raise this eyebrow. I've tried very hard.
I'm learning things about my face as we do this.
Doesn't work.
Yeah, me too.
So you're taking 5, she says, and then just to zoom out for a second to give a visual breakdown. Selene, in this version, is no longer just a simple human. She is now a protector Asimar, which means she has been, she is a descendant of the people touched by the godly beings of Mount Celestia. So she is imbued with a bit of moon magic, per her namesake, which is quite exciting. She looks visually pretty similar to myself, except she has more of the Cullen skin experience, where maybe going into direct sunlight, she gets that really good granite shine experience.
Like she's 2003 Britney.
Yes, just like the Swarovski treatment. So that's really all that happens to her, but she's actually quite tanky and beefy because she's a paladin, which is very exciting. She has an AC of 18, which is just so exciting because she's wearing shining armor like a knight should. She has a big, strong shield that, reflects everything. And that's pretty much it. But it's her and Bob as a ragtag group of knights over here, just trying to make it work and get the show together.
Delightful. We will leave you there with Bob on 5, who has not put down any of his props, but has sat off to the side and is simply contemplating them very hard. I'll get it right for her. I promise. I will. I can do this. I can do this. And he just sort of repeats that type of mantra over and over to himself. When, at the same time, you all hear a large collective, well, you collectively all hear a loud cloister bell bong ring, which you all know is a early warning system of a sort set up by your wizard Athena, who has rigged a particular flagstone of the path coming up to Vixen's HQ door to alert anyone in the estate that company is coming. So you know that someone doth approach the door, and I would actually like everyone to roll for initiative, simply to see who gets to the door first.
15.
18 for me. That's Selene. Oh no.
You are distracted, Selene, by just the continual mediocrity that is Bob.
Forgive me, I am rolling a d20, yes?
Yes, a d20, and you will add your initiative, which is also your dexterity modifier.
That's right. Well, now I got 20.
Ooh! So somehow, despite being only clad in her delightful marabou poofed blue robe, Hera has swept into her breastplate, I assume. I assume that it's just like a pullover, tighten the strings, let's go.
It's very efficient. It helps to live with someone like Athena who can help make these things more efficient.
Oh, that's true. Everyone's everything is enchanted.
Yes.
So, although everyone will be approaching the entryway, Hera does in fact get there first. And as you open the door to see a officious-looking man in red and blue motley approaching the entryway of Vixen's HQ, you are momentarily distracted by an enormous wolf coming barreling out of the woods directly for Vixen's HQ, which you would know, Hera, to gently step out of the way as the wolf shoulder checks lightly into the man en route, flying leap over the threshold, and as the wolf lands, transforms into your dear friend Pandora, who over her shoulder simply shouts, "Sorry!" as she takes out juggling balls and walks away.
Yes, don't mind her. That's the absolutely non-Vixens on guard welcome.
Of course, yes. This is a common everyday occurrence, and anyone who doesn't get the full Pandora on their way in is truly missing out. But there is now a officious-looking messenger standing in front of you.
Darling, are you here for any particular errand?
Yeah, I'm delivering a letter.
Oh, for me. Lovely. Hera Drelincourt. You can just put it right here in my hand, love.
Oh, excellent. And he hands you a scroll with a ornate, beautiful wax seal in a purple wax flecked with gold.
Oh, marvelous. This is perfect. Thank you so much. Is there anything else you need from us? Any other special letters for me?
For you in particular? What was the last name?
Drelincourt.
Hold on. And he goes through.
I also answer to my beauty, my love, my darling. Anything along those lines should come to me.
I have one to you, heinous bitch.
Oh,
That's not.
hands the letter, which in this case is a bar napkin that's been folded over. full of wine stains. Hands it off to Hippolyta.
I took all the time.
So, Hera, you are now in possession of a letter. Do you read it?
Yes. I mean, it's not directed to any specific one of us, right? It's just Vixens
No.
Vanguard.
The outside of the letter reads, to the esteemed collective of badass beauties known as the Vixens on Guard.
Oh, word does travel. Well, then, yes, I should definitely open it as long as the majority of my cohort is around me. I know there's no getting Atalanta off the track, but, you know.
She'll be there for like 9 hours straight. It's
We'll report later. But yes, I'd like to open it.
excellent. There is in spidery, elaborate handwriting that can only come from the highest echelons of nobility, a letter which reads thusly. It is incumbent upon me today to call into service the most exquisite and professional of mercenary hires. Your prowess and tact are renowned throughout the land, and it would honor us greatly to have you enact your innumerable skills in service of not one, but 2 monarchs. Her revered Majesty Queen Elizabeth was expecting the arrival of a young Danish royal who has, as of yet, failed to appear on our shores. We request your aid in ascertaining the fate of the prince and, under ideal circumstances, retrieving and escorting him to the palace per the request of his uncle. For any and all information on the life and or death of Prince Hamlet of Denmark, we offer 1,000 gold in recompense. Upon his safe delivery to England, an additional 1,000 gold shall be awarded in recognition of a job well done. Please send your acceptance or denial of this commission back by way of the messenger who has delivered it. Yours in Her Majesty's glory, the Duke of Buckingham.
Why?
Well.
That's quite an adventure.
I mean, we could
We are
totally.
very good at
Jacuzzi!
What was that, Hippolyta?
Totally expand the jacuzzi with 2,000 gold. It doesn't have to be just the size of the football field that Atalanta is running around. It could be twice as big, and then we could have giant seahorses.
You can tell, even though she's not in the room, Athena's nose begins to bleed at the prospect of of enchanting a jacuzzi the size of 2 football fields to be in constant hot bubbling motion.
But meanwhile, Talassa is very excited.
Hippolyta, I thought you
Yeah, a
would be
little
more
defense
excited
from the
because I thought you'd be more excited because his name includes one of your favorite words, ham.
Yes, very true. I do like ham and like an omelette. So a hamlet is really the most delicious breakfast. It is 2 different kinds of protein.
Yeah. Well, Hamlet also sounds cute, so maybe it's like a cute ham.
Ooh.
They were tiny hams.
Tiny ham.
Travel-sized.
So it seems we are agreed we should retrieve this Hamlet, whether he is a delicious meal with much of protein, a gorgeous gentleman folk, or a tiny pig that would be adorable. Either way, I think we're agreed to retrieve.
I'm not
this Hamlet.
passing up the opportunity for a teacup pig. I'm not doing it.
Oh, to that point, then you begin to notice simply walking through the background, your dear friend Electrina, with her tiny flying elephant. That simply.
I'm haughty.
As he floats by, she smiles, waves, and walks out of the room. So you are sending your acceptance of the commission back with the messenger?
Yes, certainly.
Excellent, thank
To
you.
intimidate him first.
Sorry, what?
I would like to intimidate him first. I'm resistant to how quickly Hera is accepting this quest, and I think Selene wants to kind of clomp in front in her armor and push them aside with kind of Bob like mean mugging behind her, and she wants to kind of stand over the person who brought this message and basically ask, why should we trust this uncle who requests Prince Hamlet? And then I'll intimidate him.
I don't even know what's in the letter. I brought the letter from the palace to here. So, I don't know.
You're not tricking us.
What?
You're not trying to trick us or get us to help the wrong people.
If I break the seal on the letters, I don't have a head anymore. I like my head. It's not the best head, but it's mine.
You should aspire to something better like Bob here. And then I walk away.
Yes, Mom.
I think your head is
Bob gives the messenger a stern look and follows you.
It's a very nice head.
Perfectly adequate head.
Thank you. I made it myself.
I think it's the full moon. Just ignore it.
Oh, she's one of those. All right.
It's a phase.
Yes.
Yes,
Sure.
I do believe the answer is yes. Sí, por favor, let them know we're coming or going. We'll find out. We'll figure it out.
Oh, good. Yay.
Thanks for coming, Sam. Fist bumps. Fist bumps. Mom.
He has his hand out for a tip and you give it a fist bump. And he simply walks away.
Do you want some nachos? I have some left.
He's pretty far down the lane at that point.
Brizo reaches into the plate and takes some nachos.
Excellent.
I saved the carnitas for last.
They're my favorite.
Excellent. So you are now working for the Duke of Buckingham directly, who is working at the request of the Queen to search for Hamlet, who was supposed to have arrived on a ship and has not. What would you like to do?
Brizo, as a lady of ships yourself, do you know where we might go to start looking for a ship that is missing?
This is precisely what I was thinking. And then I was looking at my character sheet, and I did not give myself numbers that might aid me in that. But I'm wondering if I do. I mean, I certainly have navigator's tools, and I'm proficient with them. But I'm not great at investigation or history.
I do believe you have a feature that might be useful in this endeavor, which is slightly askance, or slightly aslant from how it's normally supposed to function. The feature ship's passage that allows you to be in contact with various different ship's captains and secure. Normally, it's used to secure yourself. A berth on any given ship, but I would certainly allow, in this case, that the dockmaster at the London docks where his ship was set to arrive.
Great. Then
Probably
I would like
not the London docks, but maybe the larger ship would have pulled into port along the English coast, Dover, let's say, and then on a smaller ship along the river to get to London. Is how logistically that would have worked.
Yes, so I would like to do the Vixens and Dragons equivalent of phoning a friend, and would like to reach out and or pay a visit to this friend of mine to see what he may know about this missing ship.
So you head down I will tell you now, not much information will be found at the London docks. You'll probably need to head to Dover, which is where the large actual ship would have come in, as opposed to the river ferry. So the Vixens are heading to the coast of England. Surely, Selene on horseback, squired by Bob. Hera on a one of those. Oh, the word escapes. A palanquin that is being carried by someone. I don't know.
And just a bunch of
by Hippolyta by herself. Hippolyta by herself
really wants to
is
help
carrying Hera's palanquin. Absolutely.
This is what I'm trained for.
Phenomenal. Yeah. And you arrive at the Dover docks, where you can speak with Dock Master Alistair Brem.
Great. And so I'm going to saunter in and just say, Alistair.
Brizo.
It's so good to see you.
And you, my love, you are radiant.
Oh, please, Alistair, please.
I will. You don't have to ask again. I will. Yes.
Literally don't stop. But before you continue, my lovely compatriots here, mis queridas, you might say, we're in search of a certain ship that was supposed to stop here with the Prince Hamlet. Would you know anything about this ship?
I don't know very many princes. Do you know where the ship was coming from?
Yes, it would have been coming from Denmark.
Ah, yes. Yes. I have it written down in my ledgers. Yes. Then Drunkne de Conga.
Records, Alistair.
Yes. Yes, with Captain Goranson. The ship did arrive. It's here. In fact, you could talk to them if you wanted to.
The ship is here right now.
Yes. He points, and there's a large two-masted ship, white sails, with the flag of Denmark painted upon the front.
Well, how about that? Alistair, do me a solid, and
anything for you.
Don't let them know we're here just yet.
The Danish ship?
Right. If any of them were to disembark and come speak with you in your great intelligence and knowledge of the area, just don't let them know just yet that we're here.
I keep it very quiet.
Alistair, mi amor, thank you.
Te amo.
Te adoro. And I pull my lovely ladies aside. And I'm like, so therein lies the ship in question. How do we want to go about this?
I could punch them.
I mean, there's nothing wrong with looking up and asking.
And then if that does not work, I will punch them.
Yeah, that way.
That feels right by me. I mean, Hera, you're really the battle master. In terms of strategy, do we think we go in with a light hand and just inquire? Or should we have Hippolyta laying in wait, for example?
I fully support laying in wait, for certain. And I think we can go in with some charisma and some panache. And clearly, I mean, with all of us combined, we're a rather powerful force anyway. So, Hippolyta, come with us. But, you know, have Vera look. Have the warhammer.
When you say panache, Brizo flicks open her fan, also known as the abanico de la coqueta, which is a Spanish hand fan with white roses that glow. They literally let off a little sheen. And just as soon as she opens it, you just get this impression that she could be quite persuasive. And then she closes the fan. That's all.
I want to take this moment to look at Bob and say, you do not yet possess the charisma for this task. You wait with the bags. Does anyone have anything they would like to leave with Bob? Should he just watch the palanquin?
I feel that the bags are a wonderful responsibility for me. It is, yes, commensurate with my experience. Yes, Mum. I would indeed be delighted to rise to the challenge of also protecting the palanquin, if you trust me.
I have decided that I would like to leave a little something for Bob. And I walk up to him and I take him gently by the hand and just say, I wish to leave you with a hearty thank you, Bob. And I walk away.
He turns redder than you've ever seen a man. This is a human tomato. He stands there simply looking at his hands that have been touched by the inimitable Hera. I'm worthy.
You better remember this sense memory for your love interest rehearsal.
You know.
Sweet Bob. And Taskmaster Selene. It's my favorite combination.
So Bob is guarding the bags and the palanquin, and
The horses,
a tiny
presumably.
piece of his own heart. As you approach Den, I want to pronounce it correctly, Den Drunkne der Konga, the Danish ship,
All right.
What does that mean, please? I must know.
the Drowned King.
Dark.
Nice.
It's got layers.
Well, I propose that Brizo go first, if you don't mind, Brizo, simply because you are the more seafaring of us and might know a little bit more about what, I don't know, what sort of influence they might respond to best, if you know what I mean.
Gladly. Let's all prepare to get our sea legs, ladies. And Brizo sort of starts walking up the gangway to get onto the ship.
Excellent. You are met before you can complete your walk up the gangway. You are met by a squat person. One might say that they were a dwarf. Squat, a little bit stout, a light stubble, not a full beard, but a stubble growing in. And they stop you on the way in and say, yes, can I help you?
Hello, dear friend.
Yes, you're coming onto our ship.
Yes, amigo.
Our ship.
Yes. So I'm a seafarer myself. And we just wanted to speak to whoever's in charge. We are friends of Prince Hamlet, and we're looking to see him.
No, I'm so sorry.
No?
You haven't heard what happened to the prince?
Oh, no. What happened to the prince?
The prince is gone.
And where
Gone.
did the prince go?
We had a little run-in with some pirates, and the prince got on the pirate ship, and oopsie daisy, they went away.
Let me handle this.
Please.
Reach down, grab onto that little scruff of the beard, pull the face like a.
Very intimate, okay?
You are saying to us that you allowed a prince to be taken by pirates, and you do not appear to be concerned about this.
I'm very concerned. We sent word back to the Konig in Denmark, who it was, his family. My Danish accent. We're just going to pretend this is fantasy Danish.
So good.
Fantasy Danish is what we're going with.
It's really good. I love it.
Oh, thank you so much.
I would like to intimidate this gentleman.
This is not a gentleman, in fact. This is a non-binary individual who, in this particular moment, given that it is your first interaction with them, does not hold the misgendering against you, but does, in that moment, somehow convey to you that they are, in fact, not a man.
My apologies.
It's okay. We just met.
Fair enough. My fist is very
I practiced this. It's
and therefore I wish to intimidate this person.
Please do.
Dropping things. I have rolled a 14.
Excellent. They're a pretty stalwart sailor type. What are you doing to intimidate other than grabbing them by the face? Which, pretty intimidating.
Holding on to the face, giving them the old, I could never take Hera's color, so I would say my copper steel, just getting right in there.
Yeah, yes, I hear what you are saying, and I wish that I had better news for you. I'm sorry, Denmark. I promise we did not intend to let the prince get taken. We, in fact, were trying to engage in naval battle at the time, and that didn't go so well. The prince was like, "Oh, I can help. I'll go over there to that ship and I'll stab everybody." But then the other ship, they went, "Oh, I guess I don't want to fight you because you're such an intimidating vessel," and they sailed away. But they had the prince on it, and finding ourselves too slow of sail, we could not chase them down.
Well, speaking of sail, at least, Hera,
give me that look.
Hippolyta, don't let up. I appreciate what you're doing. Could you give us at least any descriptive details of what the other people on the ship looked like, what their sail looked like? You clearly interacted with them.
Yes, I tell you sure that they were going off to a northeasterly direction. We met them kind of like, I'm sure being that, we all live here in Europe now, yes, that you're aware that Denmark and England very close, in fact, to each other, and there's just a little bit of ocean here in between.
Hippolyta's just giving us the most. The most. Right now.
The most. So we were sailing, from Denmark. You know what I sound like? I sound like Jamie Lee Curtis in Trading Places, attempting to be Swedish but wearing German lederhosen. That's what I sound like right now.
Exactly correct. That's exactly correct.
Y'all from Sweden? Want please to help me with my rucksack? That's what's happening here. That's what's happening right now.
Also, what a great cut. What a delightful thing to remember the exact line of.
I adore that film in general, but in particular those lines, I can't with her. It's too funny. It's too much. So, we were coming from Denmark up here, going to England, just regular trip for us. But they said, "Here, take the prince too." We were like, "Okay, cool." And then the pirates came in from over here, and they met us in the middle, and we tried to go boom, boom. And they said, "Oh, oops, no, thank you." And then they went back this way. I can tell you the name of the ship. I can tell you their sails.
Yes.
We got good luck because we decided not to run away from them. We were like, "Hey, come here," but not with fists, with cannon. We did that. This is not really useful in a naval battle. So they were in a ship called the Broken Tide, and I can tell you that there's lots of different kinds of people on there, but not very many humans. Interestingly enough, which is especially odd for all of us except you. You're very big.
Cute.
What was
I'm
the?
in love with her.
You think you're in love with Hippolyta?
Hippolyta. I might have fallen in love. Yes. I like to roll to see if Uni is in love. Uni got a 7. Uni's in love.
Just smitten. Well, I hate to break up a burgeoning love story, but you said the sailors were largely not human. What, in fact, were they?
I saw like a big turtle man and like a cat person. And I guess living in this D&D world, I would know what those people are called. There's a turtle. There's a tabaxi. The turtle had the fancy hat, so I assume that that they were in charge. I'm not going to assume any of their genders. I don't know. Calling out some stuff from the back of the ship, there was a minotaur, and with the glowery face, and doing some magic, which is not what the thing that I can do. There was a tiefling making the sea very hard for us, but then I guess Hamlet must have like combed that tiefling on the back of the head or something, because then we could sail and they could sail away, but we had a hard time chasing after them. I don't know, but we're sailing, and the pirates come, and Hamlet goes, "I got him," and jumps on the ship, and then we're like turn to get the cannon ready to like attack them.
Broadside.
I don't want to deal with that. No way, and went away.
So thank you, dear friend. Athena, DM, I have a question for you.
Yes.
This sounds like a very specific makeup of a pirate crew. Would I recognize a pirate crew that is comprised of a tabaxi, a turtle, a minotaur, among other things?
Roll me a history check.
Because I don't have good history, can I have advantage on this for being a pirate? You can say no.
I'm going to say no.
Great.
Pirates.
Brizo just has a terrible memory, you know? She doesn't remember things. It's not what she's good at.
It's the drink.
It's the drink. It is the drink.
Happens.
Poor the pirate sherry. That's a 9.
So I would say you're familiar with the general pirate routes that a ship might take, having lived that life yourself, but you're not familiar with this particular crew.
Fair enough.
Well, then, question for you, Brizo.
Please.
Does it sound like the right choice for us to get a ship of our own and follow them? It sounds like the shortest distance between 2 points to me. But I'm no naval commander, so I don't know entirely.
That also seems right to me. I turn to our...
Persuade Uni to take their ship.
What was that?
If you would like to try to persuade Uni, you certainly can. The likelihood that they need to return to Denmark is high. You would simply be asking them to veer slightly off course. So yes, absolutely, you can make a persuasion roll.
I would love to.
Could Selene elbow Hera and say, "The scroll"? Show the scroll.
Right, of course. So before rolling,
or would the messenger have left with the scroll?
No, that's your commission. I assume that you would have sent back. Yeah, that would be still in your possession as a receipt of sorts.
So we can name drop primarily.
Excellent.
So then, can I roll persuasion with advantage?
Absolutely.
Lovely. So I have I got 12. So with advantage, what would I have?
Have you rolled twice? So advantage is rolling 2 times the same skill. You roll 2 d20s and take the higher number and add
All
your
right.
equation.
Then I shall take the second one because that gives me over 20.
Brilliant. Between Brizo's glowing luster with her fan, your beauty, Selene's glinting in the sunlight, Hippolyta's incessant modeling looks, and an official commission from the monarch of this country stating an intended communique, or rather information about the communique from their monarch. Absolutely, you are able to charter this ship, the Drowned King, to your purposes. Absolutely.
Marvelous. I will be taking the captain's cabin. Thank you.
is about
Unity watches as you walk onto the ship and past the man who is standing in front of the captain's quarters currently, and do you simply stroll in?
No, I tell him I like his hat, and then I stroll in.
Roll persuasion, again with advantage for just sheer audacity.
Great.
Roll for the audacity.
I got 22, so the audacity is strong with me.
Captain Goranson stands there looking about as wide-eyed and blank in this moment as the seagull perched on his shoulder. Both of them are like, and you simply stroll in
I would like
to the captain's cabin.
I would like to take this opportunity to just, because I watched this happen and I'm just smitten with Hera and all her glory, is just take this opportunity that she made him so bewildered and befuddled and just give him a hearty handshake and introduce myself.
Yes, hello.
Captain, I presume. I'm Brizo Islenia. I'm also one...
Famous Brizo Islenia. Welcome aboard.
Oh, thank you. Of course. Thank you, Captain.
I want my room.
Oh, I'm so sorry. No, you won't be able to keep that. That's Hera Drelincourt, and she gets what she wants. So
he simply looks at, pokes his head in to the captain's cabins, where presumably you are rearranging furniture and fluffing pillows, and simply making everything ready. And he just looks at Uni and says, "I guess I'm bunking with you."
Lo siento.
Oh,
Maybe. Okay.
Thank you, darling. That's very...
And I pull out some biscuits and I offer some to Uni. No hard feelings, right?
No hard feelings. And chews on that biscuit, just little bits at a time to spend as much time with that biscuit as possible.
There's some kind of feelings. There
are definitely other feelings happening.
Brizo turns to Selene and just says, Do we want to bring Bob along, or just
Yes, will you help me cue him?
Gladly.
Bob is currently pacing a perimeter around the bags and the palanquin. He is on alert, and he has set up a cordon of sorts. And you give him his cue. First, he looks for he tries to get a flower, but he doesn't have one. He just puts his hands together, scowls, and then lifts all of the various bags, and presumably with Hera with you, there's quite a lot and several hat boxes. And he loads them like onto his shoulders. He's strapping them down, puts several trunks on the palanquin, and by himself is just slowly dragging it up the gangway.
Very good, Bob.
Thank you, Mum.
Well then,
He's nothing if not a hard worker, but he's not a talker.
It seems we are prepared to set off then.
Indeed. So we are going to now be on the seas, attempting to hunt down a ship in the middle of the ocean. So this is going to take some checks on your part. You do learn that the captain's seagull is in fact a familiar, and so has the ability to fly out, and the captain can essentially warg into the eyes of his seagull and see. So the captain will be making rolls at advantage, certainly, for a much wider and literal bird's eye view. But Brizo, in particular, if you could make me a survival check, yes. We are rolling to see mostly how long it's going to take to find this ship.
Also, this is a question I have because I have never played Dungeons and Dragons with this particular, these things. Navigator's tools and vehicles water.
Yes.
What do those give me?
Vehicles water doesn't have a rule set associated with it.
Oh, we love that.
As far as I can tell. I believe it simply means that you can pick up any job upon a ship. You can sail a ship. You have proficiency on boats. So I guess in this moment we're going to rule that you have sea legs. So you are never at disadvantage, let's say, even in a storm. If the seas are rocky, you can take up any post on a ship and work with it. And chat, if you have more information, I looked, and that doesn't... it's not really a thing. And yet vehicles, parentheses, water, and vehicles, parentheses, land, appear occasionally. So you're good on the boat.
Great.
Know your way around. And the navigator's tools actually will give you, I would say, advantage on this roll because you know how to plot a course. Great. From A to B. And you had a low roll earlier for knowing the particular crew, but I think it's perfectly reasonable given that your background is pirate that you know, like I said, the traditional paths, like no one would sail this way because there's a reef there. Right.
The routes around England I'm well familiar with. I'm really glad that I had advantage on that roll because the first time I rolled a 2, and the second time I rolled a natural 20.
Ooh, fantastic. So you are able to, with the information that you've been given from Uni and the other crew members and continued discussion about the ship and where it might have been headed, and leaning on your own knowledge in this particular industry, know exactly where a pirate ship that would have intercepted a route from Denmark to England, exactly where they are likely to be anchored and or sailing about, because you're amazing. That's why.
I also want to say that I look really cool while I'm doing this. So I'm doing that thing of like spinning the thing, and I'm hanging from ropes, and I'm pulling things, and and my big frock coat. It's just important that everyone know how incredible I look
Well, there's a full montage
yes.
that's happening. And this is a large merchant vessel ship that should, all of those jobs that you've just described should be crewed by not only like single individuals, but like teams of riggers. And yet, in the montage, you are simply swinging from one job to the next and essentially having taken over the run of this ship.
And you get the sense that I could command the ship, and I choose not to, and instead do it myself.
Very gracious of you.
Yes.
Indeed. Out of curiosity, what are the other three of you doing during this time while Brizo is basically making a beeline directly for the Broken Tide?
Well, I have been playing dice with Uni, and I've been learning so many good sailing games because I'm so used to all of my games of skill and chance on the land, and so this is a whole new skill set for me. So it's very exciting.
Uni is so excited to teach you every little thing, and while they have a job to do, you may at one point suspect that they are neglecting that job in favor of spending time in your company. But it seems like it's fine because Brizo's doing all of their jobs perfectly well.
Please enjoy
Speaking
yourselves.
of jobs, I am curious to find whomever on the ship might be able to give Selene some information about like an armory in a ship context. So like, you seem to have cannons. How do they work? Are there other fun things we can hit people with? Those types of things. If there's a person that seems like they would know that thing.
There is, and the internet, I don't really know everyone's job on a ship, so we're going to go with Quartermaster. The Quartermaster, Kadira, is a half-elven woman who is in charge of sort of oversight of all of the different parts of the ship. And if you're particularly interested in the cannonade, there would in fact be a gunner. I do know that. And powder monkey's a real job. So she's able to give you a tour there. They have, let me just check one thing very quickly so I give you correct information about the ship that you are on.
As you do that, Selene does gesture to the powder monkeys and looks at Bob and says something to aspire to.
Oh, Squire Bob is my favorite thing.
So the ship that you are on has 4 cannon attached to it. Yes, 2 on each side. They are currently locked into place, but they can be unlocked and rolled to different portholes as needed. But that takes a great deal of time because they're heavy AF. But she can walk you through how cannons are loaded and the mechanisms for moving them about, and make me an intelligence check to figure out how well you retain all of that information.
Oh, this is so sad. This is my first time playing a character with a 0 intelligence modifier.
Modifier, not a score though.
Right. No. We would be negatives.
Selene's a plant.
It was a 4.
So it's all very interesting, and you have a great time. And it's.
I think internally, Selene was saying "boom" after every time she said the word "cannon."
Boom,
and I just could not retain it.
100%. That is what happened. 100%.
And by the end, she was very excited and was like, "Shit."
So you have a lovely couple of weeks down below decks with Kadira, but you are not now a experienced sailor. You audited the course. Excellent. Hera, what have you been up to?
I have been selectively flirting with everyone in order to continue to bastion my reputation on the ship and to potentially work my way into being voted captain down the line if they feel like it. But specifically, I have been flirting with and spending a lot of time with the captain himself to find out more about his naval battle prowess, so I can add to my own personal arsenal of knowledge about how to translate land-faring war games essentially onto the sea, since that is something I don't have much experience with yet. And otherwise, flirting up a storm with Kadira, the quartermaster, because she's in charge of the food and the money.
It's true.
We like her.
Big fans of Kadira. So yes, Hera, will you also make for me an intelligence check, but make it with advantage because you are in fact a battle master, and like you're saying, the translation of knowledge is you're starting from a strong point of mutual understanding.
Again, rolling with advantage means I roll twice and I keep the highest.
You roll 2 times and keep the highest. And you'll add your intelligence.
And I rolled
a natural 20?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
I swear to you.
So I would like you to add to your character sheet proficiency, vehicles, parentheses, water. Even though we've decided that that's meaningless, that you have that now. And
Great.
I have to, let's look something up. Wait. D&D Beyond.
Well, we are killing it right now. I know we're mercenaries, but we're literally killing it right now.
You're doing an amazing job. The natural 20, in fact, has helped you skip an encounter. So, although I'm sad to lose out on some potential combat, you sailed right past a problem.
We love that. One less problem
like ships
is good.
passing in the night.
Just night.
Hera, here's what I'm going to say, because I don't want to spend a great deal of time on the internet looking at the internet in this moment. So you have proficiency with vehicles, parentheses, water. And before we play next time, and there is a, here's what, before we play next time, I will do some digging into whether or not is battle master maneuvers for ships. But what I will say is that should naval battle come into play today, there is a rule set that I was going to give access to just to Brizo with her experience, but you will now have access to those rules as well.
All right.
And that is how we will handle that for now, and we will make that a more permanent endeavor with a little bit more research that is clearly needed. I was not prepared for you to decide to become an admiral.
Listen, I see a position of high power, I take it.
It looks so good on her too with the blue. It's just a good look.
Oh, the little cockades and things on the hats.
Excellent. So, with your new Sue captain of Hera and happily entertained Selene and gambling Hippolyta with her new, I want to say paramour, but I don't know if anything has progressed that far, but admirer, with her new admirer, You all approach what must be the location of our pirate ship. How would you like to approach?
What is the sort of situation in terms of, is it inside a cove? Is it moored in the middle of the ocean? What are we approaching?
You are in a cove. It is a half moon shape. There is, you feel right at home, Selene. There is a rocky beach, but not much of it. It's mostly up against cliffside. And so there is, land above, but there is not really a place to dock here. And so the ship is sitting in the cove there.
Great.
I think, and use your DM discretion, before we make any move, like out exterior from the ship, Selene would like to use her divine sense to basically see, and it encompasses a couple different things. So it would let me know the location of any celestial fiend or undead within 60 feet. I don't think we have any of those types of friends on that ship based on the description, but it would let me know that. But what I'm more interested in with this feat is detecting the presence of any object or place that has been desecrated. So like any specifically like unholy presence on this ship.
Excellent. I believe that has a 60-foot range.
It does. I would assume we're farther than that, maybe?
60 feet between two ships is pretty darn close.
Right.
So
Okay.
what I would say is perhaps have that at the ready.
Cool.
To go. Here on your ship and in the ocean around you, you detect none of those things.
Great.
And I don't know if that's a limited resource. You haven't.
It's not.
Excellent.
It's just in action.
Perfect. You have 6 seconds in which to do that, and here, all clear.
It seems perhaps that we have sort of the classic options of sail right in with our big ship against their big ship, or sneak in perhaps on a lifeboat or similar and see if we can't board their ship quietly. I'm open to either. They both sound like a darn good time to Brizo.
I mean, I have always dreamed of grabbing onto a rope and swinging through the air and then landing directly on top of someone's head in a dramatic flash. And as my feet splinter through the boards, I would do a really sweet somersault and strike a really dramatic pose. That is what I wanted my heart to do. Please.
I don't think we in good conscience can take that away from you, actually.
Right.
So I feel like we should just go in with our big ship and once we're broadsides, swing across on ropes.
After
Uni
all
does
of the
pop up
knowledge
in that moment. Uni does pop up in that moment and go, okay, that is how we lost the prince. Just to point it out, I'm not opposed to anything that you ever say, ever, that comes out of your mouth. I'm just coming from like a place of reason, and I don't want to lose you too.
I completely acknowledge what you are saying, my sweet buttered biscuit, but I do have to follow my heart in this. I know you understand.
I trust you. You are so powerful. You're so capable. You are so big. I am so small.
Truly the height difference.
It's like there's like a 3. You're 7'2". There's like a 4 foot height difference. It's incredible. Uni rests their head upon your thigh. Does the full Star Wars original poster.
I flex.
Whatever you want.
Brizo, might we use your handy telescope and navigating tools to maybe see if there's like a best part of the ship to sneak on? Like maybe we don't just go for the most heavily settled part of the deck.
I mean, that's fair. I'd absolutely, as we approach, my guess is that we're going to approach from one of the points of the crescent so that we're hidden for as long as possible and then full speed ahead toward their ship. And I will keep eyes on which side we should come up alongside to make it as easy on us as we land, as Hippolyta said, into the floorboards.
Excellent. They are, so within the crescent here, they are oriented this way. It looks in modern terms that they backed into the parking space. Yes, this situation so that they can sail out as needed. So there would absolutely, if you're coming from one of the points of the crescent, be an ability to come alongside. Dang anatomy. Come alongside, and as you come around, you will in fact be, they'll technically be broadsides to you because they are pointed out to the rest of the ocean, and if you're trying to come around, you'll be them and you.
Yes.
So that is just the orientation that is happening.
It makes us a more narrow target. It means we can't use our cannons right away, but we are a more narrow target, and we don't really seem to want to use our cannons right away. We seem to want to jump aboard, and so I'd say it works.
We're still doing cannonballs onto the ship. It's just us doing the cannonballs.
Yes. We are the fodder. It's going to be great.
Yeah.
So Brizo, make me a intelligence check to determine which side of the cove to approach from.
Great. My intelligence is not great.
Or perception. You could do intelligence or perception.
I would prefer perception because I am proficient in that. I'm very perceptive, not very smart. That's a 21.
Excellent. So you will know then that, I mean, ships are largely symmetrical, but you can, in fact, determine from looking with that, approaching from the northerly side is the most advantageous, more to do with the terrain and less to do with the ship itself.
Fantastic.
That
Then,
the northern side of the cove extends a little bit farther, so you'll have cover longer, but still come out closer to the ship than you would coming from the south.
Perfect. I set our course.
Excellent.
With Hera's help, because now she's so good at this, and it's such a delight to have her help.
I help periodically, and otherwise I'm staring into the eyes of the captain just to keep him enthralled.
Because he doesn't have anything else to pay attention to as you make stealthy approach upon a pirate ship. I'm going to roll stealth for the ship.
Tiptoe now, ship.
On a good face.
That is a natural 1 on stealth for the ship.
It honks.
We didn't know we had a horn on the ship, but we did have a horn on the ship. And
And for whatever reason, it's playing that song that the van from Ant-Man plays. Is it La Cucaracha?
It should be. I feel like that's the most sort of obnoxious horn-sounding song. Yes. La cucaracha, la cucaracha. And I'm also singing, I know all the words. Ya no puede caminar, porque no tiene, porque no tiene.
Which is not helping itself.
Brizo, focus.
Oh no, we're not stealthy. I just love that song.
So even with a 5 on the collective perception of the pirate ship, they are still aware that you are coming. Did not roll well over here. Fine. So as you round the edge of this cove, you notice that the ship, which had been otherwise seemingly dormant, the cannon are now turning in your direction.
They are.
Fantastic.
Well,
How quickly can we do one of these?
How quickly can you do one of those?
Wait, from every movie I've seen in which they try to have the Poseidon adventure, in which they are titularly trying to quickly do one of those and cannot do one of those.
It's like a 45-minute long endeavor.
what if I just swing on over as a distraction while you do your maneuvers, right? I am ready. My body is ready. My rope is ready.
Hippolyta has been standing holding a rope with the axe poised to cut it for like 20 minutes.
I think as soon as we're close enough, Hippolyta, go. I mean,
Yeah, go for it.
Say the word, DM, and I shall launch.
Make an athletics check.
Oh,
I do have a greater like wingspan than most, so I feel like you could,
I'm quite proficient in athletics. Let's see. That would be a 19.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. You are able to swiftly chop that rope. You launch up into the air, sending you in an arc, flying over. You know not to superhero land because it is so terribly bad for your knees, but you do briefly hit the pose as you go into the dive roll that is in fact the proper way to land from a great height. One of the ways. You can also do backward. It's fine. Save your knees, but Hippolyta knows this.
Of course.
So Hippolyta, you have now landed on the deck of a pirate ship. What do you do?
Who do I see around me? I wish to engage.
There's a number of crew there. You see at the helm, even though the ship isn't moving, like in the spot where the captain would normally helm and give orders, there is a turtle there wearing a tricorn hat and with a wicked sword drawn already. You see the tabaxi woman standing, looking down largely into the lower decks of the ship, shouting directions to the bosun and the crew, aiming the cannon at your ship. And additionally, up top there is also the tiefling person there who stands. Hold, please. Can't open that right now. That's fine. Who stands? They have brilliant purple skin, a gorgeous lilac color to them, and horns that actually sort of go out to the side, so their hat can sit still in the middle, but the horns are then curling up over the hat there, and they are standing pretty surprised and fairly close to you, I assume, because they were not prepared for you to just appear out of nowhere.
Why, hello, I appear to have misplaced a Danish prince. Could you have helped me find it, please?
That's an incredible response. The captain looks at you and says, what do you want the prince for? I mean, he's in the brig, but he sort of delivered himself unto us. So
I understand, but I kind of need him for stuff. So if you could just give him back to me so I can take him over there, that would be super sweet of you. Thank you.
Where are you taking him?
Oh,
I'm taking him back home.
Oh, no. I will take care of it for you. You need not trouble yourselves. Just hand him over.
What's happening right now?
Oh. Well, I mean, I just did a super sweet, and I want you all to know that I did a toe touch and a front tuck briefly as I went across, just to show off how well I have been doing leg day. Atalanta's so proud of me right now. I just want to point that out. So when I was on my way over here, I just wanted to let you know that you've got something I need, and I always get what I need. I mean, not always what I want, but I do get what I need. So just hand it over, and if you would prefer to do this another way, I am very fine with that as well.
Are you taking it? This is bizarre, and he's going to take a swing at you.
Great.
Okay. So, let's roll initiative.
20.
13.
Got 27.
Whoa.
Hang on just one moment. Sorry, hold on just one moment. The captain.
Oh, Hera. Good. Good.
You had to fix your hair first. I respect that.
I have to stand back and look interesting while all the action's happening in front of me.
And while we are here,
Need an audience.
All right, so anyone above a 20?
Yes.
What did you get, Brizo?
27. I have rakish audacity. Rakish
sure do.
audacity is fantastic.
Anyone above a 15? Hippolyta.
I had a 20.
Excellent. And anyone above a 10?
13.
Excellent.
And as a reminder, Bob does not participate in battle. He is exclusively allowed to remain with the bags, and if he is the recipient of an attack, he can defend himself, but he will not aid us.
My sworn duty is here, Mum. I shall protect your things. I shall protect the realm here of the ship, and stay far away from all the things that you do so well.
Yes, but watch closely, Bob, so one day you can aspire to battle. It's about the learning trajectory.
I'll get out my notebook. He takes a position on top of the bags, which is not a particularly stable place to be, especially aboard a ship. But he stands rather wide-legged and slightly off kilter. But he stands in what gives him essentially a Captain Morgan type stance, so appropriate. But he takes out like a notebook of parchment and a large quill and is prepared to make copious notes about all parts of the battle that he is able to see. So, oh dear, where did that go? Okay. And Hera, what did you get for initiative?
5.
5. Excellent.
I was going to say, I believe Hera does like a good rear, and she is bringing up the rear.
Excellent. Excellent. Brizo, you are in fact first to act. I'm going to now ask that the document that I emailed to you earlier.
Yes.
Go ahead and open that.
Right. Here we go. Okay. I open. Let me see.
And then, Brizo, when you have a moment, I will ask you to share your screen, because what I've sent to my lovely compatriots here is a map. We are going into battle, and therefore we shall have a map. And I would like it to be visible to our viewing audience as best we can. As best we can, I've said.
As best we can. Yes, should I start sharing now? Is this a good time? Great. Here we go. We are going to here and share. And then I think I can actually hit present like that. Is that how you would want it to appear?
It hasn't loaded yet.
Ah.
It's thinking.
It's thinking.
Very, very hard.
Processing.
I mean, mine does say I'm screen sharing, so hopefully
How odd.
it will come soon, if you know what I mean.
Hello.
Perhaps could you unscreen share and try again?
Stopping the share and recommencing the share. No one needs to give me permission to share, right? It seems to just...
I should have the setting that, yes, you're allowed to share. I have that turned on.
How about now?
We are looking at a black screen.
How strange.
Very. Selene, are you potentially able to attempt to share?
I am using Zoom on a phone.
So no.
So no.
We shall theatre of the mind it up today. Everything is fine. My players, if you feel the need to reference the maps, that's fine. But I will likely be slightly less counting of squaresy if we're not actually going to. I feel bad. I don't want to spend time with us poking about at a map and being incredibly pedantic about it if it has no positive yield for the viewing audience. So that is available to you, and you could place yourself on the ship as you'd like.
Beautiful. I feel like we should sort of share it with our audience
really nice.
later somehow.
I downloaded
Athena, these are gorgeous.
maps. I did not create them personally in any way. They came from the internet, and I have where those are written down elsewhere. But I feel less need to credit the artists, given that no one can see them. Excellent. So, Hippolyta, you have landed on deck. You are alone on this ship, but Brizo, you are in fact the first to act. You are simply on a different ship at the moment.
Well, how far are these two ships Hippolyta was able to cross?
Swingable. Are you looking for a particular distance?
Well, as long as it's under 90 feet, I can use my flintlock
probably
pistol.
we're talking about 30.
Well, so Brizo in the Vixens doesn't have a flintlock pistol, but Brizo in Dungeons and Dragons world does have a flintlock pistol, and so she's going to utilize it from a distance.
Aiming at who?
That is a very good question. I think if I'm imagining the two ships, I might have a clear shot of the turtle if he's a bit above, right? If he's where the captain usually is, he's slightly raised.
Yes.
I'm going to shoot at the captain. Also, he's the one attacking Hippolyta. I see him.
Yes.
Yes. So yes, I'm going to shoot at him.
Very good. Make your attack, please.
So that is a 15 to hit.
That hits.
Amazing. And that is... Flintlock pistols do quite a bit of damage. That is 14 piercing damage.
Ouch. Excellent. 14.
Also, I don't know how movement would work involving getting to the ship, but could I get to the ship with my movement on my turn?
You would need to make a fairly high DC athletics check. Hippolyta had a rope helping her, but I would allow you to do that. Your jump is calculated with like times your strength score. I don't care.
So I will make an athletics check and we'll see what happens. You know, anything's possible. That's a 14.
A 14, I would say you are able to jump the distance, but you have not landed on the deck of the other ship. You have jumped and you are holding on to rigging or ornate architecture that is on the side. So it will take, exactly, on your next turn, it will take an additional athletics check to climb aboard the ship.
We love to see it. Thank you.
Excellent. Next is the bosun, who is downstairs helping organize the cannon and is going to order the cannon to fire upon your ship. So he's firing upon den Drunkenekanga. I assume my pronunciation is correct. But fails. The cannon fire goes wide, and your ship is safe for the time being. I should pause momentarily, actually, because now that we have two ships fighting each other, Brizo and Hera, you are going to have options available to you as a pirate and a naval battle master. So you can, as a bonus action, have your ship move in two different ways. You can maneuver the ship into a better firing position, which will lower your speed, but at the moment it doesn't sound like you're chasing. But the ship will not be able to fire as it is maneuvering, but it will be in a better position on the next turn to fire. Or you could race the ship, which in this case, I suppose would actually lead to ramming because the ship is, the opponent's ship is stationary. So you can basically maneuver the ship into better firing position or choose to ram the ship. Ramming the ship causes damage to both your ship and their ship, but it will do more damage to their ship depending on how you are positioned and oriented, which is why maps are helpful, but it's a-okay. The other option as a bonus action that you have is to do broadsides, which is to tell your ship to fire cannon.
Question: if we don't tell them to fire cannons, might they still, right? Like,
yes.
Are people part of initiative order?
Yes, I have rolled for Uni and Captain Goranson.
Thank you.
Uni did not roll well. But they did roll. Good. There we go. Okay, so Hippolyta, it is now your turn.
I was not yet attacked.
Correct. The captain has brandished his sword and is headed in your direction, but has not had the opportunity to get to you yet, being that you landed on the lower deck and he was up on the little, captainy bit.
He's also recently been shot. So.
And he's been shot. That's true. But he's still coming to get you.
Very well. Then I'm very annoyed that brandishing a weapon at me, the audacity of that. So I'm going to go into a rage and I'm going to attack him.
Naturally.
Let's see. I am going to use... Well, how far away is he at this moment? Close enough?
Give me just a second to figure out how long the actual ship is so I don't give you wildly wrong information.
It's really rather whether I'm going to throw something or hit with something.
He's about 40 feet away from you right now.
All right, then I will throw something then. I shall throw... I am going to throw my javelin because I have those. They're very shiny. All right, let me do that then. 1 moment. That is a 12.
A 12 to hit?
Yes.
He is going to he uses his sword to bash your javelin out of the way as you are running, I assume, towards each other. Excellent. You've used a bonus action to rage, and you're using movement to close distance?
Yes.
Perfect. Captain Goranson from the Danish ship in this moment is going to not... He does not have the information that Hippolyta does, but does know that the prince of his country is on this ship. So he is currently going to fire a warning shot. So I'm going to roll for their broadside attack, but a low roll is actually going to mean that they hit the ship, which is not his current intention. On a 19 on the die, the cannon goes sailing over the bow of the ship, in between some of the pirate crew. Oh no! Who get out of the way. Apparently, Mr. Bill is there. Oh no! And succeeds on the attack. So I'm now going to allow an intimidation roll from the captain here as well. But the pirates have bigger concerns at the moment, and they're pretty convinced that Hamlet belongs with them momentarily. Selene.
I am going to proclaim to Bob, take notes, and then I am going to use my feat Radiant Soul, which goes thusly. Use your action to unleash the divine energy within yourself, causing your eyes to glimmer and two luminous incorporeal wings to sprout from your back. This lasts for 1 minute, or if I end it as a bonus action, I get a flying speed of 30 feet. And once per turn, I can deal extra radiant damage on a magical or melee attack. So Selene just kind of like anime hovers, and then
Magical girl transformation.
yes, it's very cool. And then I would love to use my newfound fly speed to just fly to the other ship, and making sure that Bob is taking a note.
Oh, Bob is in full like sketch artist
Yes.
mode.
Courtroom sketch, yeah.
Yes. He's got, the background going. He probably spends a little bit too much time and effort on the background.
He brought pastels.
He did. He's blending
Watercolors.
at the moment, yes. But there is a beautiful outline sketch of you with the illuminated wings and
Literal
you,
angel.
yes,
What?
your movement is plenty to get you over to the deck of the other ship. Do you have a bonus action that you would like to do?
That's what I'm looking for. No, I would just like to stay above the deck, so I'm not just like I will stay in the air.
How far off the deck?
Is it too metagamey to just say like out of melee range? Like 10, 15 feet?
Great.
I'll say.
Currently 15 feet up in the air. If you want to make a physical attack, if you want a melee attack, you will of course have to close distance with an enemy in that moment. But you could use ranged weapons from there, certainly. All right. The pirate captain barreling down upon Hippolyta, his large tortoise form coming straight at you, is going to take a swing. That's a D12. I assume an 11 does not hit you?
Nope.
Excellent. Second attack. Does a 13 hit you?
Nope.
So, as he is running down at the 7-foot-tall woman who has just materialized on his deck and battered her first attack out of the way, a angel has appeared above his head, and he's a hair distracted at the moment, and takes 2 swipes at you that you nimbly duck and dodge, dip, dive, duck and dodge out of the way. Okay. Uni then is going to take their turn. And what can Uni do? Uni sees their dearest love being attacked and is going to order the ship this time to fire directly at the Broken Tide, despite their prince being upon it. So, Uni fires away. Oh, they actually need to make the pirate ship needs to make a Constitution saving throw. Excellent.
I love learning about these pirate ship rules. I do not know these.
I've never played with these rules, and it's fantastic.
This aspect of it is in no way homebrew. This is these are the stat blocks for a pirate ship and a galleon, a galleon is technically a much larger ship than what you're on. So I have downgraded some of what's happening. It does not have 20 cannon. That's
Unfortunate.
That's too much for me to manage personally. So, unfortunately, the pirate ship fails its Constitution saving throw, and so does in fact take the damage from the galleon, which we'll call it just because it's easier, and it's written down here. So
I'm hanging.
it is
off the
mostly
side of
about
that
how
ship.
well the ship is able to brace against the attack. And the ship is going to take 3, 9, 16, 24, 29, 39, 36 points of damage.
Whoa.
Does
Is-
anything happen? Does anything happen to those of us who are upon said ship?
Make a dexterity saving throw. Brizo, you can make it with advantage because of your sea legs.
Yes, great.
Oh, wait. No, your ship was firing. You're fine.
Well, but I'm
Everyone-
hanging off the side of the pirate ship.
Oh, that's right. Yes. Make it out a flat roll because you're hanging off the side of the ship.
That's what I was going to say. I was like, I'm very good at
So,
this. but-
Hippolyta and the pirate crew are going to make dexterity saving throws to keep their feet.
I'm simply floating.
Yes, and you're fine. The
Greatest thing.
captain keeps his feet. The bosun down below is fine. The wizard is fine, but the first mate falls prone. Brizo and Hippolyta.
I fall down.
You fall down. You're prone.
I'm maybe okay. We'll see what the DC is. 10. Have I fallen into the water? Is the question.
Into the water.
That's the answer.
You are in the ocean.
I love the ocean.
I will say there is now a hole in the side of the ship
So I can climb into that hole.
from where the cannon,
Oh.
Thank
and it
you.
is on your side of the ship.
Great. I'm going to tread water until my turn then.
Excellent.
Great.
And the first mate is going to use half of their movement to stand up. And is going to... Oh, technically they had advantage. And they got a natural 20, so they did not fall down, in fact. But they are going to make 2 attacks towards Hippolyta with their longsword. The first mate. Who are you, first mate? I don't have that available. I think the first mate is female. I have it written down. One misses, and does a 20 hit you?
Yes.
All right. So you will then take 5 points of slashing damage, halved to 2 points of slashing damage because you are in a rage.
Ouchie.
Brizo, it is now your turn.
Oh, fantastic. My coat is now soaked through with salt water. But
Quite heavy.
I do love the ocean. So I am going to take this opportunity to climb into the newly formed entryway towards the bowels of the ship.
Excellent.
Would that be athletics?
Athletics, please.
Great. Not terrible. 14?
So I would say with that, you're able to get a grip on a bit of rope and a plank that is, I guess they would be blown inwards, but there's, a jagged edge for you to get a hold of, and it will take your turn to get into the ship Oh, excellent. Yes.
I'm using my boarding axe.
Perfect. That's what it's for. That's why it's called a boarding axe. So, I will just say that you are able to get out of the water and onto the ship, but that will be your turn for the round.
May I know, before my turn is over, just what I'm seeing, where I've landed on this ship?
Yes. Roll me. Oh, I said I wasn't going to do it, and now I'm going to do it. Roll a percentile die.
Oh, so I rolled both of them, yes?
Yes.
So that is a 94.
You, being in the top 20% of the scale,
Possible outcomes.
possible outcomes, top 20% of possible outcomes, you have found yourself, in fact, in the brig.
I've been here before. I know it well.
With a young man. You have seen it's in a bit of a shambles at the moment because a cannon has recently fired through here, but had the cannon not fired through here, and hold on, I'm going to make a luck check here. The cannon has, in fact, blown the hinges, blown the entire door off the brig, and which, under normal circumstances, is clearly just a fairly standard ship's brig, but in this case has been loaded up with various pillows and throws. There's a tray of good-looking food there. These are, in fact, thieves of mercy, as it were, and have been taking fine care of their prisoner, but keeping him locked up on a piece of information that Hippolyta has, but you don't, his journey back home.
Great.
But you are now face to face with a young Danish man.
I say, buenos dias, and I take a bite of whatever food is there. And that will be the end of my turn.
Incredible! Incredible! The bosun down here in the lower decks of the ship is probably panicking now that cannon have come and fired through. I'm going to have him, bosun, come here, bosun. He is headed towards the brig, but is not able to get there on this turn. So that he is taking the dash action and moving in your direction. You're not aware of that, but that's what's happening. Probably I didn't need to say any of that out loud. Hippolyta!
Yes. All right. So let's see. So I'm still on the ground. Yes. So
Yes. It will take half of your movement to stand.
I want to stand up. And I'm very irritated about this entire situation. So I'm going to go further from my rage into a frenzy. And I'm going to do a reckless attack on the captain as well.
Fantastic. Roll with advantage.
All right. Oh, and I'm using my great axe, by the way. So
Does your great axe have a name?
Sharpie.
Sharpie. Delightful.
So I'm going to take the 26.
That will definitely hit.
Excellent. Let's see. And then that means, and so, yes. All right. So then I will roll for my damage. I get to get my D12 out. Hooray.
Oh. I missed the wizard. Oh well. They'll come back around. Oh well.
17 points of damage, and 6 of that is slashing.
Excellent. Thank you. The captain takes an enormous slash across his chest, his baldric splitting open, dropping his other weapons to the deck. He is still standing, but he reels back from that strike and is largely still confused about what's going on. Captain Goranson is mostly going to yell at Uni. We need the prince alive. He's the prince. Stop blowing up this ship. And will attempt to maneuver the ship into position so that the pirate ship is now boxed in to the cove. So he's going to roll. I suppose I will roll the galleon's dexterity. It's a ship. Its dexterity is terrible. I'm going to... How do I want to do that? I know what it gave in terms of being attacked. What to do? I'm just going to make a roll and decide what it means later. It's a natural 20. So ship is now boxed in. Sometimes the dice just tell you what is going to happen. Excellent. Selene.
If I could get a quick refresher on the physical location of the wizard, would I see this person?
From your hovering vantage point, you absolutely see this person. They are on the opposite end of the ship, the sort of catty corner to Hippolyta and the captain. The Hippolyta and the captain have sort of met at the center of the ship, and
as was fated,
was towards the prow, ready to do weather magic stuff.
And so would I... How far away am I from them?
With your 30 feet of movement, you can absolutely get there.
Fantastic. In which case, I will fly in their general direction, as I still have 42 seconds left of flight by the end of this turn. And I will use my big honking lance, which has a range of 10 feet, to poke the wizard outright.
You have a lance?
I do.
Of course you do.
It's quite big, and it does extra damage. Should it hit? So, let's see. That is a dirty 20 to hit.
That will definitely hit any wizard.
Woohoo! Okay.
You get to poke
Modest
the wizard,
or no?
Selene, if you know what I mean. You get to poke the wizard.
You get to poke the wizard. Okay. We are rolling a D12, a good dodecahedron. Oh, and it landed on 12, plus 3, so 15 piercing damage, with an additional... This isn't helpful. It just says deal extra radiant damage. I believe the radiant damage equals my level, so 4 extra damage.
Excellent.
So 19 total.
I realized, did we miss Hera in this turn order?
Oh!
No, she was later.
These curls take...
I'm so sorry, Hera. I missed the wizard. I missed you. I am going to always rule in favor of the PCs. What was your initiative?
5.
5. Excellent. My initiative order looks hilarious. I'm going to rule in favor of the players. Selene, have you completed your turn?
I believe so. There is one thing I want to check.
Please do.
Nope, that is all I will do for this turn.
Excellent. I'm going to rule that Hera had previously elected to hold her turn until after Selene had taken hers. And now it is your turn, Hera.
Lovely. Because I'm still on our ship. I've been admiring the work of everyone and just generally helping, I'm being a good booster of morale, if you know what I mean. But at this point, I've made my way over to the side of things. I don't want to get on a blown up ship right now. So what are the chances that there is somebody of fairly large import on the other ship that would be in range of a thrown dagger?
What is the range on a thrown dagger?
20, and then 20 or 60.
So at 60, you could absolutely do that at disadvantage, which means that you would be throwing it, rolling twice and taking the lower of the two. But the second number in any of your ranges on your weapons is, you could theoretically hit them, but it's not easy to do.
Is the bosun in range as he makes that dash toward the brig?
The bosun is below decks.
Right.
So up on the deck, there's the captain, the first mate, the wizard, Hippolyta, and floating Selene.
Lovely. Then if we are close enough to the ship, has there been like a plank laid down at this point for boarding
you could
purposes?
certainly call for a plank to be laid down. 30 feet is I
only walk over.
I'm so sorry. The captain got a natural 20 to maneuver into position to disallow this ship from having movement, so you could very easily leap onto the deck of the ship.
Then I do so with grace and gusto.
Excellent.
Instead of throwing a dagger, well, no, I still want to throw a dagger. Why not? I never get to do that. That's always Persephone's thing. So I'm going to throw a dagger.
The wizard is now within range of you. Because
marvelous. Selene, would you like
to come in at the prow of the ship, because we said they backed in, and the wizard's at the prow.
Yeah.
Poke this
then
wizard.
I'm going to. Yes, he's got one of the largest weapons we've got at him. So let's throw one of the smallest weapons we've got too, just for fun.
Fantastic.
So, let's see here. And this would be within 20 feet, yes?
Yes.
All right. Then I've got 9.
9 to hit. Your dagger.
Wait, no, clear. Sorry, I rolled the wrong dice. Forgive me.
Roll your d20 to hit, add your attack bonus.
Yes, then in that case, we're at 21.
Ooh, that is very much if you switched the numbers in their armor class. So, yes.
Yes.
And it was 9 damage. That's a great amount of damage from a dagger.
No, that's way too much damage. Hang on. It's 4 damage.
That is perfect.
That makes sense.
Ooh, this wizard is mad. Ooh, those robes are tattered. It is now Hamlet's turn.
Yeah!
Hello.
Hamlet, who is now standing amongst the rubble of his cell with a strange, in the sense of him not knowing you, woman appearing from the outside of the ship, and is simply going to say, this is a rescue, yes?
Oh, yes, of course.
Very good. Please, lead the way.
Well, fine. Here's the question. Can we go just like through the hole?
You want to? I don't see why not.
So then what Brizo's going to do is say, of course, and just swan dive into the water again.
That's so good that even though it isn't your turn at the moment, I'm going to allow that movement to happen. That's so good.
He told me to lead the way. I'm leading the way. There's a hole in the ship.
There's a hole in the ship. Yes, there is. Okay,
Makes me
excellent.
think of my big fat Greek wedding, like, there's a hole in this cake. It's a bunt cake.
Bung,
There's a
bung.
hole in this cake.
Bung,
There's a hole in this ship.
bung, cake.
There's a hole in this ship.
Bung, bung. Sheep, sheep, sheep. Okay, so I guess Hamlet is using his movement to dive out of a ship in a move that is fully unexpected on my part. Okay.
It's just like the Waterworld live show. It's very good.
An athletics check. Yes, he's good with a total 14. He's fine to dive out of the ship. Okay. The pirate captain there with Hippolyta is simply going to continue attacking, having no idea that his prey isn't quite the right word. His prize, perhaps? Hard to say what that relationship is like, is going to continue to make attacks against Hippolyta.
Great. He does have advantage against me until my next turn.
That's right. You made reckless attacks, but neither a 12 nor a 13 hit you.
Very true.
So that's his first attack, and his second attack is worse
Goody.
and the same.
I am very intimidating.
You're so intimidating and moving so much more quickly than this turtle man is able to keep up with you. He's making attacks at you, and you are just taking Sharpie and beating everything out of the way with very little effort on your part, because those rolls were garbage. Hera, it's your turn again now.
Oh, all right.
Yes.
So the wizard is
You picked up your
done.
turn from last round and moved it, and now it's your actual turn for this round.
Marvelous. The wizard is down for the count at this point?
No, but is also thinking about potentially diving off the ship.
Then I'm going to encourage him to do that by using my rapier.
Excellent.
And doing the ever-present, ever-distracting balestra at him to get him as close to the side as possible so that he makes that choice.
Do you have a balestra maneuver?
I don't, but I have legs. I don't know how to do that.
I got legs. So the balestra is simply flavor to your movement. I'm going to create a rule, which in this particular combat is not going to apply, but in future ones where we have maps may. You now have, I'm just giving Hera all, like, here, take all the new stuff. That's how tonight is going. I would like you, if something like this doesn't already exist, because I don't have all of your maneuvers memorized, we're going to create the balestra maneuver, which means if you use a superiority die to balestra, you can add 5 feet of additional movement.
Ooh, that's fun.
It's a maneuver.
Maneuver.
More of a gesture.
The fact that Hera has superiority die
I know.
is just correct.
It's part of what we were excited about for the class for her. And the idea that Hera spends so much time in our shows being like, everyone else is like, where were we? And Hera always knows, this is where we are, this is where you're supposed to go, you're over there and I'm over here, and this is what we're doing, which is what exactly Battlemaster fighters do. Excellent. So
You said that as 5 feet when he
when you balestra, you can move an additional 5 feet because you are essentially leaping forward an extra square. For those viewers who don't know what a balestra is, it is a sort of leap then lunge move. And since that type of movement doesn't really exist in D&D, and we tend to just simply think about running in straight lines, I am reflavoring an actual martial fencing move, which involves leaping forward to close a great deal of distance to fit the mechanics of 5e.
So then I'm happy to use that once this is brand new.
Excellent.
Get it started.
Because we don't have a map, it doesn't have as strong of bearing at the moment because we're not counting squares, but for future. And I think you absolutely should balestra right now, obviously.
Yeah, absolutely. I've just landed. I look fun. I've thrown the dagger. It's time. So yes, I take out my rapier and I balestra at this individual, this long-suffering individual. And I've got 18.
Rough 12 seconds. You got a what?
18.
Oh, yeah, yes, that hits.
Lovely. And damage is, nope, 7.
They are on their last legs. Oh boy. And because I forgot their turn as well, I scribbled them out while trying to fix the initiative order. They haven't even taken a turn yet. Uni is going to fire
for a little while.
Uni's going to fire upon the Danish ship again, but at disadvantage this time, because now with this orientation, so I suppose the ship will make its save with advantage is what will happen. The ship saves, and the cannon goes wide on that one. The piratical first mate is... How are you still 15 feet in the air, Selene?
I would imagine so, if I'm able to, with a reach of 10 feet, hit someone who is general humanoid size.
Then I believe you are within 10 feet of that.
Then I will be
standing at the end of that 10 feet.
Sure. Oh, Pythagoras.
But a longsword still only has 5 feet of reach, so she cannot get to you. So she will instead use her movement to get over to Hera.
How close is Hera to me? She's far away from me, it's fine.
You were attacking the captain, yes?
I was attacking the wizard. And
that's right. You were attacking the wizard. So yes, everyone's pretty close in a clump at the front of the ship there. The first mate was not, but is coming in to approach. The first mate is going to make 2 attacks against Hera. But I assume a 10 does not hit you, Hera?
No.
What about a 17?
Yes.
What if Selene uses her reaction interception to use the 10-foot lance to intercept the attack on Miss Hera?
Then presumably the attack will not hit Hera.
So it would reduce the damage by 1d10 plus, what is my proficiency bonus? I think my proficiency bonus is 2. Yes, it is. So I could roll to find that out off of what you roll for the damage of the attack.
So it is a d8 plus 2 for this. So it would be 10 points of damage.
Okay. I rolled 12. Well, I rolled a 10 plus 2.
That is fully parried. And Hera takes no damage.
Thank you. Thanks. You're marvelous.
You've
I did
my fun.
I was so excited to use
I'm
that.
extremely excited that you know your abilities and have remembered to use them in this way. That is 100% perfect what you've done. My fun is still intact. That was the first mate. The wizard gets to go!
What?
The wizard is, despite having been stabbed recently several times by Hera, still received more damage from Selene, and Selene has recently intercepted the attack, so the wizard is going to cast Witch Bolt against Selene. So Selene, I need you, please. Oh no, this is a spell attack.
Okay.
Excuse me, I shall roll to zap you. Does a 19 hit you?
It does. It's just above my AC. But mayhaps, is this necrotic damage? I don't know the spell.
This is going to be a bolt of lightning zapping you.
So it is neither necrotic nor radiant. It is truly just electrical. Okay.
Straight up, a bolt of lightning for 6 points of damage.
One more time.
6 points of lightning damage.
Okay.
And Brizo, it is your turn.
Well,
You're in the water.
Master Hamlet and I, Prince Hamlet and I, are going for a swim. So basically, I don't know how to roll or what I roll. I just want to keep an arm sort of around him and or just be in protective mode of him as we swim toward our drowned king ship.
Excellent. Let's say then your movement speed. Ooh, you can't move very quickly while doing that. Do you have a swim speed by any chance?
Not that I have written down.
I didn't know if perhaps you got one as a pirate. So your swim speed is half of your walking speed. And if you are dragging someone along with you or staying with them, that's going to be half again.
So I guess maybe what I really want to know is he swimming all right?
He succeeded on his athletics check.
Great.
He appears to be fully uninjured. He was well taken care of, despite being locked in a brig by a group of pirates.
Fantastic. Then I'm just going to swim.
Excellent. So you have 15 feet of movement, which will, because of ship orientation, will absolutely get you over to the ship. And if you have 15 more feet of movement, if you'd like to start climbing.
I would very much.
Excellent. Make an athletics check to see how well you climb.
I don't climb very well this time. That's a 9.
So we'll say that you're able to get a grip on the ship, but you have made no progress up.
Fantastic.
But you're there. Well done. The bosun is now going to run into an empty brig that has been blown to bits and is no longer full of captive Hamlet and rescuer Brizo.
There is a bite out of one of the pieces of fruit, though. So that's something to note.
He picks it up. He sniffs it. There was a woman here.
Scent of a woman, yes. Awful.
And let me just see if I believe he has all of my details are on a different page in D&D Beyond, so I don't know who anyone is at the moment. Bosun does not have any ranged weapons, but he will run to the edge of the ship, single bite taken out of the apple in hand. Oh, wait! He has a light hammer. I'm going to give him an attack to throw this hammer at you, Brizo.
Let him try.
20.
Oh, yes, that hits.
7 points of bludgeoning damage.
Great. So I'm literally just hanging on to a rope, and I just got hit in the back with a hammer.
Yes, but he doesn't have his hammer anymore. It is sinking to the bottom of the cove.
Put it aside for me.
If you would have to make a deep dive.
Not going for it.
It's also only a light hammer, not a war hammer.
Mm-hmm.
It's not good enough for you, Hippolyta. It's not
But
good
Hippolyta,
enough.
it is your turn.
It's my turn. Excellent. Well, let's see. The captain is still right there, all up in my business, which I dislike immensely. So I will attack again with my Sharpie axe. And so that is going to be, I have to add all my things together. So that will be a 13.
I believe that misses the captain.
All right. But I'm also in a frenzy, so I have a bonus action. So here, let's do that then.
Excellent. That does miss the captain.
Yes, so this will be a 27.
That extremely hits the captain.
Great. I cannot wait to tell you exactly how hard it hurts. Let's see. Oh, dear. A lot. That would be 20 points of slashing damage.
Hippolyta, describe this man's demise to us, please.
As I lift my beloved Sharpie, and while my first attack simply was not enough, I get him on the backswing, and not only had his baldric been sliced away on the first round, but this time pants, doublet, all things have fallen completely amiss, simply wearing but one sock as he stares me deep into the eyes and goes, "I'm sorry."
And sorry he is, as he then lays not only outside exposed, but internal organs now exposed as well. It is a shameful state, truly. All other pirates are now going to have disadvantage on their attacks, given that their captain has fallen. Excellent.
Can I yell right now, who wants a taste of this? And then go make my booyah or my box motion.
Incredible. Roll intimidation.
Let us do that. 20.
Oh, no one's coming anywhere near you.
Goody.
Goranson is simply going to maintain position and not let anyone escape. Selene.
So these pirates who have lost their morale, might they be within 30 feet of each other?
The wizard and the first mate are. The bosun is not.
Okay, so those two, for my action, I'm going to use a spell, command, and I'm going to cast it at a second level instead to target two creatures that are within 30 feet of each other. And the one word command I will speak is flee. And that is, they need to succeed on a DC 13 wisdom save.
Wisdom save, yes. They are not wise. The first mate fails. The wizard fails.
So on their next turn, they must spend that turn trying to move as far away from Selene by any means possible and taking the fastest route possible, specifically.
Excellent. I know exactly what that means.
Wonderful.
I just want to be playing a god right now. I think that's her tactic, is she's like, you don't really know what I am. I showed up with wings. and I am now.
And you sparkle as well. It's broad daylight. Incredible. It is Hamlet's turn. He is also going to roll athletics to try to get onto the other ship. That's a natural 20.
He's going to
Go
succeed
Hamlet.
me. You go,
He
Prince.
scurries. He's probably able to like pop in a window or some such. That man is on the ship. Hera,
Do I see Hamlet get on the ship?
make a perception check because it would be happening. You're on the pirate ship, yes?
Yes,
So
I
you would have a better angle at it, but make a perception check.
All right. 18.
Yes, you absolutely see. I suppose what you see is a wet man climb out of the ocean and onto your ship.
I am intrigued, and Selene seems to have things very well in hand here. So I'm going to start making my way over to our ship. I'm going to use my action to delicately cross the plank again and make my way back over to our ship as a sort of a mopping up exercise.
Excellent. You can definitely do that with your movement. Is there an action or bonus action that you would like to take? You can also you can use your action to like run further.
I think I would like to yell across the gap, or yell as I'm running or across the gap to the remaining Vixens, just, "We got him!"
Perfect.
So that they know.
Excellent. Uni, I'm going to give Uni a perception check to hear that yell of "we got him," to figure out if that affects what they do. That is only a 4 on the die, so I'm going to say Uni doesn't hear that. So they would probably just keep firing either way, frankly. They don't care about these pirates. They're going to keep firing at the ship. The ship makes its save with advantage, is what I ruled. Ship saves again. Uni isn't great at their job right now. But orientation makes firing at this ship extremely difficult.
They're also watching the person they love. You know, it's very high stakes.
It's true. They're so worried. But also cheering on Hippolyta. You got him! Good job! Fire the dang things! Fire the things, but don't hit my lady love. The first mate has no choice in this moment but to flee, and given that Selene is floating above them, the most direct route and the fastest way to go is to dive into the sea. And given that the wizard follows immediately thereafter, the wizard does as well. Technically, the wizard has a concentration spell up, but I imagine I'm going to roll damage for both the first mate and the wizard because they are diving from the top deck of the ship, not the lower deck of the ship. So they're probably still only 20 feet up in the air. First 10 feet, I believe, of falling damage are free. So they're only each taking 1d6. The wizard has 2 HP at the moment. The wizard hits the water, and Selene, you're not entirely sure why you are no longer being filled with electrical charge. All you know is that that has stopped. Hera, who is looking down at the ship towards where the soaked Danish man was climbing sees the wizard simply plummet and hit a plank that had exploded out from the ship, and like Jack at the end of Titanic, just drifts down below the waves. The bosun, the first mate has taken 6 points of damage, but they are fine, and they're just going to swim away.
Swim away.
Okay, so we've lost the captain, the first mate, and the wizard. And my pen. Brizo, it's your turn.
I've just been hit in the back with a hammer. That wasn't fun. I would like to try to just climb in where Prince Hamlet did, just sort of
Excellent.
follow him.
Make your athletics check.
Thank you. That is a 13.
You're able to do that just fine. And I will remind you of your options as bonus action of maneuvering the ship as well.
Yes, fantastic. I would like to use bonus action to maneuver us for better firing.
Oh, you want to keep firing on them? That's dark. Yes, let's do it.
I kind of want to destroy the ship entirely. Is that
Excellent.
great?
So you, by maneuvering the ship, you're going to use your bonus action, and you're going to give your ship now... Oh, it would be advantage on the attacks, so the other ship will have disadvantage on their save against any firing that happens.
And it might not, but if it does, I would like to destroy them utterly. So...
Excellent. The ship has only taken one hit. It is still in fair working order, but you could certainly continue to chip away.
Yeah.
The bosun can't really do much because his hammer's at the bottom of the sea. He's just going to dash back to the cannonade. Hippolyta, you are still upon the pirate ship.
Very true. Is there anyone left on the deck? And did I hear Hera?
Make a perception check.
All right, let's find out. A 15.
Yes, you heard Hera.
Well then, I guess I'd best be off. Is there a super sweet rope on this side that I could swing back over?
Roll luck.
Luck.
Just a
What?
straight D20.
What?
Just roll a straight roll on a D20.
A 9.
There is not a rope nearby at the moment.
Very well, then I shall we haven't maneuvered away yet, have we?
No.
All right, so then I will jump back onto the other ship, but before I do, I want to do one of those sorts of things where you sort of like look over your shoulder and then walk away. And in a perfect world, there'd be a huge explosion behind me. I'm just going to assume that all of my enemies are frightened, and then the sea spray sort of takes the blood back up in the air, and it's really exciting.
There's no good reason for it, but something 100% explodes.
Excellent.
Excellent. And you are headed back towards the Danish ship?
I shall head back to the Danish ship, and since there's no one for me to attack, my rage will come to an end when I get back over there.
Excellent. Goranson is going to aid in the maneuvering of the ship, but that doesn't do anything mechanically at this point because Brizo has already taken care of that. Selene.
I would like to fly back to the ship. Would I be able to fly specifically, like right next to Hippolyta onto the ship?
Yes.
I will do that. And then for my action, I would love to use lay on hands. And Selene looks her in the eye and says, if you were to assign a number to how bad you felt after this battle, maybe what number would you assign to it?
Honestly, like a 1. I feel fine.
She sighs and does lay on hands. And I will give you, truly, I have 20 hit points to give. I don't remember how much damage you took. I'll give you 2.
Fantastic.
1 with each hand.
They're so warm.
Delightful.
It was the shock.
Hamlet is going to assist Brizo in getting aboard. Hera, do you have anything that you would like to do this turn?
Other than starting preparations with the captain to get underway.
Excellent. You died. So Brizo, unless you would like, you said you were maneuvering to fire upon the ship. Would you like to call for broadside attack?
I think if at this point Hippolyta and Selene are back on the ship, I think that was part of the reason I was still staying prepared to attack. But if everyone's aboard, I will sort of with a little bit of heavy breathing from my climb, take Prince Hamlet's hand and be ushered onto the ship, and then just call that we should get going. Let's head out.
So we had previously discussed that the racing maneuver could be used to ram the ship, but it could also be used to turn around and go the other way.
That's what I would like to do with that bonus action.
Excellent.
Very much.
Very, very good. That will take us out of combat. You have successfully rescued Prince Hamlet and evaded the pirates, taking out a number of them. And frankly, the first mate isn't going to last very long, simply swimming in the ocean. How long does command last?
I believe it's just for the duration of that turn.
So he could pretty quickly find himself in the ocean, go, what am I doing in the ocean? I've made a huge mistake, turn around and go back onto the ship, which has taken damage but is not in any way sinking at the moment because of how poorly Uni rolled mostly. They are not going to give chase in this moment. And so you have a calm, quiet moment now, back aboard the Drowned King with your new Danish prize.
Well, I think whatever room we found ourselves in, there's definitely that moment of like both of us just kind of like breathing heavily. Like, are you all right? Are you all right? Yes, everything's still intact. Great. As the other Vixens, I assume, are coming to meet us.
Who's this wet man?
Oh, this wet man? He's Prince Hamlet.
Hello, I'm Prince Hamlet of Denmark.
Hello, lovely.
The reason my accent is much better than Uni's.
I like it. It's really quite charming. It really does something for me. It's so nice to meet you. I'm a bit sleepy, so good job on not getting...
Who are you?
Oh, we're the Vixens.
That's nice, but that is a meaningless statement.
I feel like we must say...
I'm going to give him a history roll. Let me give him a history roll.
Would it help if we said it simultaneously and in rhythm? The Vixens on guard.
I will give him this roll with advantage.
Great.
That's a natural 20 again. Yes. So, the Vixens! Oh, that is so wonderful. I've heard so many tales of your exploits. I think I saw you performing on tour, perhaps. Were you at the Blackfriars?
We were. That was a good one.
I did. When I was studying at Wittenberg, I took a trip and came to London and saw the most wonderful show.
Oh.
Thank you, darling.
Why are you here?
For you. Yes, we've come to bring you back. For your family.
family that loves
That's
you.
very nice. They were already taking me back.
Well, you know, in a flashier, fancier way.
And
Oh,
wouldn't you say we're better company?
Sorry? I didn't hear what you said. Hera, I happen to know your name because I
I said,
kept the program and I got all of your autographs.
oh, simply that they may have been taking you back already, but we make much better company.
Oh, yes. Okay. Let's go to Denmark.
I'm sorry. Were you not on your way to England to meet the Queen?
Yes, but they were taking me back to the pirates are taking me back to Denmark.
No, but the Queen needs to meet you, darling. We
No,
got
the Queen
a very
doesn't-
fancy scroll and
No, sorry. You are trying to take me to England?
Yes.
yeah.
Hamlet pulls his sword upon you.
You know, I really do not have time for this today.
I have a letter here from my uncle. I was not supposed to read it, but he gave me a letter to read, and of course I read it immediately. I hate that guy. It says essentially, "Hello, dear England, here is my nephew. Please kill him immediately upon arrival. Thank you very much. Farewell. Toodaloo." And I, no.
You know, I hear Denmark's lovely this time of year.
It's true. I have some murder there to do. I'm back in Sweden.
Wait, Your Majesty, my only my greed is getting in the way, quite frankly. We have been promised a hefty sum to deliver you to English shores. Given this circumstance, I can appreciate your hesitation to follow through on a trip to England. However, might there be another wet Dane that we could maybe pass off as you and collect this handsome sum?
Selene, your avarice is marvelous. I love it.
No shortage of wet Danes.
I need a persuasion roll from you. It would have been at disadvantage, but Wet Dane is canceling that out.
It's a 19.
Okay. So the Danish crew of the ship, we could get one of them.
Someone with striking nobility, perhaps.
As far as I know, I'm the only Dane on the ship, and we're in the ocean. Don't have access to a lot of anything, but especially Danish people. Although Danish people, kind of the only thing I have access to, because that's who's on this ship.
Selene.
Waves to you.
Selene.
What?
Selene, we have Squire Bob.
This is the performance of a lifetime.
You were born for this.
I must stop rehearsal this instant.
I literally was just about to pull Selene aside and say, I will not, as Brizo, this is like truly a part of who I am, I will not put a poor Dane in the hands of potential murderers. But Squire Bob, we will protect him. We'll make sure that no one takes his life. But I need him to perform Prince Hamlet.
I think it's perfect. And we will start rehearsals outright. We do some movement exercises where I'm like, walk like him, move that space. Go ahead.
Hamlet like does some blade work that Bob has to follow. So it's like the way Hamlet might duel, were Hamlet to duel. Now Bob knows how to.
And then they do the Pink Panther. I'd like to order a hamburger scene verbatim.
Yeah.
Yes, to match accents.
Okay. I'm going to ask you, Selene. I need a performance roll from Bob.
Oh, from Bob.
Yes.
Okay. Naturally. Let me get his info.
Can he have advantage because he studied the subject himself for our entire trip back to England?
Yes, and with the entire team of Vixens coaching him. So, okay. Yes, he can make the roll with advantage, but Selene, I would like to clarify. You are dressing Squire Bob in Hamlet's clothes, sending him to the palace in Hamlet's stead, does the letter go with him?
We're saying the letter from Claudius?
Letter from Claudius that Hamlet has read.
No, I would say no.
No. So in this scenario, Hamlet is simply showing up. He's been announced because Claudius reached out to the Duke of Buckingham to be like, I haven't heard back from you about the situation with my nephew. Did he get there? And Buckingham was like, no, I guess I'll go hire the Vixens to find him. And so belatedly, Hamlet is showing up, but without any instructions specifically from Claudius. I am now going to roll to see if, like, how diplomatic and therefore cryptic was Claudius's communique with Buckingham. Does Buckingham know that he's supposed to kill Hamlet?
I mean, I assume, again, I think rolling for it makes sense, but also if the instructions are in this letter, I assume that's for a reason.
Yes, but there is largely because in the IRL world of Hamlet, communication travels slowly and with you, but in our world, communication can happen much more quickly. So there was a fantasy phone call or email that was sent being like, I haven't heard back about my nephew, but is the conversation diplomatically, I have not heard back from you about the arrival of my nephew and any ensuing their business. How goes it? Or is the email, did you kill my nephew for me like I asked you to? And this is what I need to know. So...
And I guess my assumption is the letter is a way of being clandestine in this world. So I assume he's going for clandestine.
Yes. I roll it is a very, very diplomatic letter that Buckingham may have suspicions because the nobles know how to communicate these things without actually saying them. Mm-hmm. But without the actual instructions, Bob is probably fine.
He did get an 18 on the performance check at advantage.
Honestly, that's kind of worse because now they believe that he's Hamlet.
It's the role of a lifetime.
It's the role of a lifetime.
They don't even know what to do with him. I also think we would accompany him. You know, we would be there. We could have a meal with the queen.
You arrive at the palace delivering Prince Hamlet as promised with your letter from Buckingham stating that upon no matter what you were going to get 1,000 gold unless you turned around and said IDK, there's no information, sorry. But because you've delivered him, you also get the full 2,000. What happens? Do you leave Bob there?
No, I think we hang around.
I think we'll escort him back to his ship to head back home to Denmark after the audience with the Queen.
Precisely.
He's on a tour.
You're sending. Do you actually send Bob to Denmark?
We are
No, we put him on our little dinghy in the pond at Vixens HQ and send him across from one part of the beach to the other. That is the passage. And then we let him take a break.
And have secretly put Prince Hamlet back en route. And this is what has happened between Hamlet's exit after killing Polonius and his reappearance at Ophelia's funeral. Hashtag spoilers.
Canon. It's canon. Boom.
Boom.
Boom. And thus endeth the tale of Prince Hamlet and Prince Hamlet. Well done, everyone.
Oh, well
that
done.
did not go where I expected it to.
Athena, you were magnificent. This was a magnificent adventure.
Yes.
Thank you.
So well done.
If our audience is still there, this was quite a long venture. Thank you so much for sticking with us. We hope that you enjoyed it. Certainly let us know in the chat, but also on social medias if you enjoyed this, if you'd like to see more of it. We've got lots of ideas of things to do with this and lots more Vixens to pull forth and play. The last little innkeeping? That's not the right word. What am I thinking about?
Housekeeping?
Housekeeping. Yeah.
Headquarters keeping? A little headquarters keeping.
I'm still in D&D world. Last few housekeeping tasks. In the chat, you will find links, or at least like ats. This is my version of the at symbol, of where to find us on social media. It's always at Vixens on Guard. We are also on Venmo at Vixens on Guard. If you'd like to give us the tip, if you know what I mean. And you can also join us on Patreon for exclusive backstage looks and early access to what we're doing on streams, and art and photos and all sorts of fun, wonderful stuff. In fact, we have a list of fantastic Patreon supporters who I would love to shout out right now, who have been helping us create things just like this. So an enormous thank you to Chris C., Luke and Brianna C., Mo C., Kyle F., Mary F.T., Tyrone H., William O., Jake P., James M., Amelia R., David S., Fnaskane, and Sarah and Lilith W. We thank you so much for your support. And thank you to everyone who watched with us. We had a blast. I had a blast. And I can't wait to do it again.
Cannon blast. We had a cannon blast.
Boom! Thank you all. Good night.
Thank you, everyone.